Su Jingxing was a little confused. 3 days have passed. It hasn't even been 3 minutes, has it? Su Jingxing. Alright, everyone, stop talking. Amidst the discussion, Nian Xiaosu, who had calmed down, shouted, at this point, it's useless for us to dwell on this. We should prepare to return. Sigh. Nian Linger sighed. It's just started and it's already over. It's too torturous. If not, what else? What's going on? A cry of alarm. The 8 of them were suddenly wrapped in an invisible force and pushed backward. Don't be nervous and don't resist. Nian Susu shouted in time, this is the repulsive force of the space. When the time is up, this space will automatically expel us and return us to the abyss. I see. Realization dawned on Su Jingxing. He quickly took out a card, unlocked it, and threw it at the 9th soul refining tower. Please reading on myboxnovl.com. His speed was too fast for the others to notice. As for the 9th soul refining tower, after the unlocked card strangely buried into it, it suddenly disappeared from its original position. At the same time, Su Jingxing and the 7 others were expelled from the space and returned to the abyss. Just like when they came down, an invisible force pushed the 8 of them upwards. Swoosh! 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 In a few breaths, the group of 8 flew out of the abyss. They're out, they're out. Cheers sounded from the edge of the cliff. Swish! Swish! Figures flashed as they moved quickly in the air. Su Jingxing landed on the ground and steadied himself. How is it, Kong Xian? Doesn't it make you want to go in again? Feng Xian's laughter sounded. This Heart Moon Fox King walked towards Su Jingxing with a smile. Indeed. Su Jingxing nodded and admitted. That's good. I wish to enter a few more times myself, let alone you. Feng Xian sighed. What a pity. It only opens once a year, and there are only 8 slots at a time. Everyone's turn is really limited. However, the Heart Moon Foxes have a rule that all new sons-in-law will be rewarded with a spot to enter. Feng Xian raised his eyebrows at Su Jingxing as he spoke. This person was determined to recruit him as his son-in-law. Without the Intelligence Awakening card, Su Jingxing might have agreed. Yet. Once the Intelligence Awakening card was used, Su Jingxing would no longer need to enter the soul refining space. Birth Star. U-Nation. Void World Territory. Su Jingxing's essence soul opened its soul space with a smile and released a pitch-black item. The Soul Refining Tower. Before being expelled from the soul refining space, Su Jingxing had unlocked the Intelligence Awakening card that he had kept away for a long time and applied it to the 9th soul refining tower. Then, this mysterious black tower silently entered his soul space. At this moment, in the void world, the 9-story black tower that had never been opened in countless years saw the doors of 4 levels opening at once. Swish! A translucent figure wrapped in purple light detached itself from the tower and floated in midair. It faced Su Jingxing and shouted respectfully. Ming 1, greets Master. Master. That's right, Master. After the inanimate object augmented by the Intelligence Awakening card gained sentience, it would automatically acknowledge Su Jingxing as its master and bind its soul. It was unknown if the 9th soul refining tower had a tower spirit in the past. In any case, from this moment on, the translucent figure would be the new tower spirit. Your name is Ming. Su Jingxing's essence soul looked at the translucent tower spirit with the outline of an old man and asked curiously, did you come up with the name Ming yourself, or was it innate? Su Jingxing didn't give it a name. Master, Ming doesn't know either. Ming, who was about 1.9 meters tall, replied calmly, Ming only knows that Ming is called Ming. It was a little confusing. But Su Jingxing understood. It had most likely grown on its own. As for the exact reason, it was related to the soul refining tower. Then do you know the origin of this tower? Su Jingxing's essence soul did not pester it and asked something else. For example, what is the true function of this tower? I believe it's not just soul refining, right? Master, Ming does not know the origin of this tower at the moment. The old man replied calmly, because half of this tower has been sealed. Ming's memories have also been sealed. Ming only knows the functions of the 4 lower levels. From the bottom up, they are soul refinement, divine refinement, heavenly divination, and instant space. Soul refinement. Divine refinement. Su Jingxing's essence soul asked curiously, what's the difference between the two? Master, soul refinement is active, and only one person can do it. Divine refinement is passive, and there is no limit to the number of people. The more people there are, the better the effect. Ah. Su Jingxing's essence soul blinked and said seriously, can you elaborate? Mainly on divine refinement, in a way that's easier to understand. That can be done. Ming replied calmly, to put it simply, divine refinement is for others to help master refine his soul. F***ck, is this for real? Su Jingxing's essence soul raised its eyebrows in surprise. Are you sure? Ming is certain. The old man replied calmly, divine refinement is the function of the second level of this tower. Compared to the first level, it requires a longer duration. If the first level, soul refinement, can be completed in 3 days, then the second level, divine refinement, will take 3 months, and that's at full strength. Full strength? The number of people who enter the second level at the same time, asked Su Jingxing's essence soul. Yes, master. The old man said calmly, full strength of 1,000 people on the second level. Currently, divine refinement on the second level can be activated 3 times. 3 times? Not bad. The essence soul was slightly surprised. What about the first level? How many times can it be activated? The first level cannot be activated, the old man replied calmly. Ming only found heavenly Tao crystals on the second, third, and fourth levels. Not on the first level. The opening of this tower requires heavenly Tao crystals as a driving force. No, Su Jingxing's essence soul frowned. Isn't the driving force the moonlight? For the other 8 towers like this, as long as enough moonlight is absorbed, soul refinement on the first level can be activated. Master, Ming doesn't know which 8 towers you're talking about. The old man replied indifferently, perhaps the 8 towers you mentioned can indeed be activated by absorbing moonlight, but not this one. It can only be activated using heavenly Tao crystals. Alright. The essence soul was speechless. In the center of Yuedang Mountain, the soul refining space under the abyss could be opened by absorbing moonlight. Perhaps, that could only be linked to the other 8 towers. Ming's soul refining pagoda was clearly different. This could be seen from the fact the 8 others could be opened once every year, but this one had never been opened. Although the 9 towers stood in the strange soul refining space at the same time, Ming's was undoubtedly the most special. Then what is a heavenly Tao crystal? Where can I obtain one? The essence soul asked again. Master, the heavenly Tao crystal is a special energy crystal formed from the energy left behind after a world or a star is destroyed. The power it possesses can connect everything. The old man replied indifferently, as for where to get one, you can find out through the heavenly divination on the 3rd level. The essence soul was surprised. Heavenly divination on the 3rd level you mentioned refers to divination and abilities related to heavenly secrets. That's right, master, said the old man calmly. Heavenly divination can deduce all the secrets in the world, past, present, or future, as long as there are enough heavenly Tao crystals. It was dumbfounded. How King sick could this get? The past, present, and future can be divined. Is this tower still a soul refining tower? Ming, your name should be cosmic. This tower's real name should be the Cosmic Tower. Su Jingxing's essence soul was convinced now. Thank you for the name, Master. From today onwards, this tower will be named Cosmic. The old man said seriously, as for Ming, Ming has a name. There's no need to change it. What if I insist that you change it? Su Jingxing's essence soul raised its eyebrows. Master, if Ming changes its name, Master will lose the control of the Cosmic Tower and no longer be able to obtain its abilities. After a pause, the old man continued, it's not that Ming is unwilling to change it, but Ming's name has already been tied together with the Cosmic Tower. It can't be changed anymore. All right. Su Jingxing's essence soul was a little indignant. Of course it hadn't forgotten that the soul, no, Cosmic Tower wasn't under its control. Su Jingxing's essence soul had not refined this mysterious black tower that had existed for countless years, nor did it know how to do so. Its consciousness and mental perception could not touch it. The reason why the tower could be transported away was due to the mysterious power of the Intelligence Awakening card. The Intelligence Awakening card had awakened Ming. Su Jingxing's essence soul had indirectly grasped the Cosmic Tower through Ming. How many times can the third level be activated? 3 times 2. After calming himself down, Su Jingxing's essence soul asked again. Yes, Master, replied the old man calmly. The third and fourth levels can both be opened 3 times. You said that heavenly divination can divine the past and future. Do the 3 chances include divining the future? Asked Su Jingxing's essence soul. No, Master, the old man replied coolly. Because the third level doesn't have enough heavenly Tao crystals. Yes. The old man swayed slightly. Its eyes flashed as it replied, Ming just took a look. Heavenly divination on the third level can only deduce the existence of known existences for now. Moreover, the range of radiation cannot be too far. With this place as the center, at most 10 worlds. Do these 10 worlds include stars? The essence soul continued to probe. Yes, Master, the old man replied calmly. Not bad. Su Jingxing's essence soul clapped its hands. It was already good enough to deduce what had happened and was currently happening on the surrounding 10 planets. As for divining the future, just thinking about it required great divine powers and energy. The Cosmic Tower already had 3 chances of heavenly divination, and it could help Su Jingxing divine 3 times. As for what they would be about, it would put it aside for now. What about the 4th level? What does the 4th level's instant space refer to? The essence soul asked again. Master, instant space refers to the ability to shuttle through space in an instant. The old man replied calmly, as long as you know the coordinates of the world or the star, Master can arrive instantly through the 4th level of Cosmic. Really? The essence soul's eyes lit up. Then is this teleportation one-way? Or two-way? Master, it can be one-way or two-way. The old man replied indifferently, one-way or two-way, depending on your location. For example, Master, your physical body is on the 7 luminaries planet. If your physical body returns to this side, it will be one way. When your physical body returns to Earth star from the 7 luminaries planet, it will not be able to return to the 7 luminaries planet. It's the same if you go to the 7 luminaries planet. You won't be able to return to Earth star because the coordinates here are gone. If you want to shuttle again, you have to activate instant space again. Understood. The essence soul nodded. Although it was a little complicated, it was not difficult to understand. It mainly depended on Su Jingxing's soul. Be it going to other planets or returning to Earth star from other planets, Su Jingxing's soul was the key. On the foundation of the soul, be it the essence soul or the physical body, they could only teleport one way. However, once the essence soul and physical body were separated, they could go both ways. For example, if Su Jingxing's essence soul and physical body were still on Earth star, but his physical body wanted to go to the 7 luminaries planet, after the cosmic tower activated instant space on Earth Star and his physical body headed to the Seven Luminaries planet, he could return to Earth Star from there. There was no need to activate instant space a second time. Simply put, Su Jingxing's main body could return from the Seven Luminaries planet now as long as Su Jingxing's essence soul activated instant space on Earth Star. Would Su Jingxing return to Earth Star now? No need. There was no hurry or need. Su Jingxing didn't need to know why Tuahai Taiyan was targeting the Heart Moon Foxes. However, he had to complete the task of killing the green-eyed snakes and replenishing 18 skill cards containing the Gaze of Fear so that he could obtain the divine power, the Eyes of Panic. Therefore, Su Jingxing's main body was in no hurry to return to Earth Star. In any case, with the cosmic tower in hand, he could return any time. On the contrary, he no longer needed the planet location device he had been pursuing. The first level is soul refinement, the second level is divine refinement, the third is heavenly divination, and the fourth is instant space. Then what abilities do the fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth levels have respectively? Asked the essence soul curiously. Master, Ming doesn't know either. The old man replied calmly, the 5 levels above are all sealed, and Ming's memories have also been affected. If you want to know what abilities the 5 levels above contain, Master needs to destroy the void. Destroy the void? The essence soul was surprised. What destroy the void? Wait, you're not referring to the void world, are you? Destroy it? Master, it refers to the void world. The old man replied coolly, to unlock the 5 levels above the cosmic tower, Master has to destroy the void world of 1 world for each level. Su Jingxing's essence soul opened its mouth but didn't know what to say. Void annihilation. It was unknown where the void world began, but it had invaded and fused countless planets and worlds. The owner of the cosmic tower actually wants to destroy them. That's right. Without needing Ming to explain, Su Jingxing's essence soul knew that this strange condition was set up by the previous owner of the cosmic tower. This mysterious existence was a mighty figure of an unknown race. The top 5 levels of the cosmic tower were sealed. When the future generation obtained the cosmic tower, they had to satisfy the conditions to unlock these 5 levels. Destroy 5 void worlds that had fused with planets and worlds. Su Jingxing had only been active on Earth Star and the 7 Luminaries planet. These 2 planets happened to have been fused with the void world. But destroying them was out of the question. It calmed its mind. Su Jingxing's essence soul gritted its teeth and asked, why do we have to destroy the void? Master, Ming doesn't know. This is the request of the cosmic tower, the old man replied peacefully. Then how do we destroy the void? The essence soul was gloomy. You've got to tell me how, right? Master, Ming doesn't know how to destroy it either. The old man's voice finally contained some awkwardness. Su Jingxing's essence soul didn't know what to say. It didn't know why, nor did it know how. Is this a joke? Suddenly, Su Jingxing's essence soul thought of something and asked, can I find the answer through heavenly divination on the 3rd level? Sure. The old man heaved a sigh of relief. But I will need enough heavenly Tao crystals, right? Su Jingxing's essence soul interrupted. Yes, the old man replied calmly. Then can the current 3 divination chances from the 3rd level give the answers related to destroying the void? The essence soul asked. The old man's body swayed, and its eyes flashed. A moment later, it shook its head and said, Master, you already have 3 chances, but you can't deduce the related answers about void annihilation. Su Jingxing's essence soul was silent. This reply was within its expectations. It was obvious how much power was required to be related to the void world. It was unknown how much of a grudge the creator or previous master had with the void world. It actually linked the destruction of a world or planet's void world to the cosmic tower. Then does the heavenly Tao crystal refer to the core of a world? For example, Something like a star core, the essence soul suddenly asked. No. The old man shook its head. The heavenly Tao crystal is even more special than the core of a star. Ming can't give the exact description. If Master wants to figure it out, you have to witness it with your own eyes before you understand what exactly is going on. Alright. Su Jingxing's essence soul sighed. In that case, use heavenly divination on the third level to divine if there are heavenly Tao crystals on Earth's star and the 10 planets around it. Understood. The old man said calmly, Master, please enter the third level and immediately activate heavenly divination. Hold on. Su Jingxing's essence soul's eyes flickered as it called out. There were only 3 chances. Using one meant one less chance. Su Jingxing needed to replenish the heavenly Tao crystals, he needed the divine power, the eyes of panic. He also wanted to know why the barbarians had invaded the U-Nation. The latter two, one was derived on the 7 luminaries planet and the other on Earth's star. Only the first one, the whereabouts of the heavenly Tao crystals, was difficult for Su Jingxing to grasp. Doing so on Earth's star, if there were no heavenly Tao crystals on Earth's star or even the 10 surrounding planets, then the opportunity would be wasted. The same went for the 7 luminaries planet. It could also be a waste of an opportunity. Ming, do you know where the heavenly Tao crystals are most likely to exist? After pondering for a while, Su Jingxing's essence soul couldn't help but ask, for example, is the probability higher on a planet with life or a dead and desolate planet? Or is it simply floating in the endless void? Floating on the surface of the sun? Master, Ming, doesn't know either. The old man was a little embarrassed. Everything Ming knows comes from Cosmic. When Cosmic was sealed, most of Ming's memories were sealed as well, so. It's fine. Su Jingxing's essence soul raised its hand, indicating that it was fine. There was no point in forcing it. It wasn't like Ming wasn't willing to speak. It had no way of doing so. What could the essence soul do? Ranking the importance of the 3 chances, the reason why the barbarians invaded the U-Nation was the last. As long as Su Jingxing became stronger and achieved the primordial spirit, or even the soul platform, so what if he didn't know the reason? At most, he would waste a chance at instant space and get his main body to return to Earth's star and fight his way into the boundless mountain range to capture the barbarian gods for questioning. Therefore, Su Jingxing's essence soul had to obtain the eyes of panic. It had 3 chances and could use it twice. Once on Earth's star, once on the 7 luminaries planet. At this thought, Su Jingxing's essence soul no longer hesitated. It controlled its body and entered the door on the 3rd level of the cosmic tower. At first glance, he realized that the interior was entirely white like the first level of the soul refining tower. Heavenly divination is about to be activated. Master, please be prepared. Ming's voice sounded by its ears. Ripples suddenly appeared in the white space in front of the essence soul. Next, calculating the whereabouts of the heavenly Tao crystals. Countdown, 3, 2, 1, begin. Whoosh! It was as if this was the beginning of the world and the chaos had retreated. In the vast white space, all kinds of lights flashed. When they stopped, a boundless starry sky appeared in the vision of the essence soul. The sky was dotted with dazzling stars. One of the light spots inexplicably enlarged and pulled the essence soul closer. Starlight turned into stars. A planet that was mostly filled with water bodies finally stopped in front of Su Jingxing's essence soul. The planet spun on its own, and the shape of the plate tectonics flashed across the essence soul's vision. Earth Star. Su Jingxing's essence soul recognized it as Earth Star with a few glances. Swish. Its vision enlarged, and with Earth Star as the center, the surrounding stars immediately appeared. Swish. 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 As if stirring an image, the stars enlarged one by one. Soon, 9 stars flashed past, including the sun. The images only stopped flashing when a planet covered in ice and snow appeared. Master, I found it. Ming's voice sounded. There are heavenly Tao crystals on this planet. Very good. Su Jingxing's essence soul clenched its fist secretly and said happily, can't we continue to deduce the exact location of the heavenly Tao crystals? That's right. With the 3 available chances, we can only deduce the approximate location. Ming added respectfully, but don't worry, Master. As long as you go to this star, Cosmic will be able to sense the exact location of the heavenly Tao crystals. That's not bad. Su Jingxing's essence soul nodded. Let's memorize the coordinates of this planet first. I'll head there when I have time. Is that okay? There's a problem. Ming paused for a moment and explained, Master, this planet is moving. The coordinates are changing at every moment. Although the magnitude of the shift is very small compared to the space, it is indeed moving. A moving planet? The essence soul raised its eyebrows. This planet is alive. It has its own intelligence. Not really. Ming paused for a moment again and explained, Ming probed using cosmic. This planet is slowly moving in space because it's being pushed by an external force. Is that so? Su Jingxing's essence soul fell into thought. Don't worry, Master. Although the coordinates of this planet are changing, because the frequency is very low, as long as we land on it within 10 days, there's no need for further divination, added Ming. 10 days. Su Jingxing's essence soul said happily upon hearing that, that's enough. The reason why they would first take down the coordinates before going to it was because Su Jingxing's main body was still on the 7 luminaries planet. The essence soul was not suited to land on the frozen planet and obtain the heavenly Tao crystals. The physical body had to be the one going. However, Su Jingxing's main body still had to hunt the green-eyed snake devils on the 7 luminaries planet. A round trip would use up 2 chances of instant space. Now that there was 10 days as a buffer, it was enough for Su Jingxing's main body on the 7 luminaries planet to supplement the divine power, the eyes of panic. With this in mind, the essence soul asked Ming to note down the coordinates of the frozen planet through the cosmic tower. Then, it left the 3rd level and put the cosmic tower back to his soul space. Far away on the 7 luminaries planet, Su Jingxing's main body took out the cosmic tower from the soul space. He had already received all the repayment from the Heart Moon Foxes. The main body had already left Yuedang Mountain and was on the way to find the green-eyed snakes. The green-eyed snakes were scattered all over the place. Su Jingxing used the heavenly secret arts to deduce their location. Some could be deduced, some could not, and the distance between them was too far. No one knew how long it would take to kill 20,000 green-eyed snake devils and extract 18 skill cards containing the gaze of fear. For this, Su Jingxing decided to use the ability of heavenly divination on the 3rd level of the cosmic tower. He had already used one of the 3 chances, so there were 2 more left. Su Jingxing found a remote corner shrouded in dark clouds above. He released the cosmic tower and his physical body entered the door of the 3rd level. He calculated the exact location of all the green-eyed snake devils on the 7 luminaries planet. This was much faster, more convenient, and more accurate than calculating where the heavenly Tao crystals were. When the white light retreated, the complete form of the 7 luminaries planet appeared in his vision. Specks of light flickered on it. Each light dot represented a green-eyed snake. Spinning the sphere, Su Jingxing picked a few places with the most light spots and added up to exceed 20,000 in total. He memorized them all and then chose one of them to compare with his own location to calculate the coordinates. After confirming, his main body left the 3rd level and returned outside. Putting away the cosmic tower, Su Jingxing adjusted his position and flew out. With a clear address, Su Jingxing increased his speed to the maximum along the way, except for the necessary detours. Before long, he arrived at the first location where the green-eyed snake devils were hiding. In a lush green bamboo forest. He sensed the whereabouts of the green-eyed snakes and found the underground cave in the southeast corner of the bamboo forest. Boom! Without another word, Jingxing directly executed the firmament nirvana palm. He expended 100 years of spiritual essence cultivation to sink the ground, revealing the cave below and killing the hundreds of green-eyed snake devils gathered together. Card plus 402. Roar. TSS, run. Who is it? Who is it? The palm imprint covered the periphery. The green-eyed snakes that were affected by the impact but did not die cried out in alarm and anger. Whoosh! 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 Dozens of figures flew out from the hole in the ground, searching for the culprit. However, what greeted them was a second, even larger palm imprint. Boom! 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 Jingxing struck out 3 more times, covering every corner of the underground space and the dozens of figures rushing up. It smashed all the green-eyed snake into minced flesh and raining down with the blood. Card plus 723. Card plus 2199. 2 extraction notifications flashed past. The green-eyed snake demons in the underground cave of the bamboo forest were captured in one fell swoop. In a flash, Jingxing soared into the sky and rushed to the next gathering place. Far away in the Earth Star's void world, the Essence Soul took out the cards the main body had extracted from the soul space and read them one by one, categorizing them. Essence Origin Card, Essence Origin Card, Soul Separation Card, Soul Separation Card, Soul Separation Card. There were more than 3,000 cards. They were either Essence Origin cards or Soul Separation cards. Fortunately, after reading all of them, it found 3 skill cards. Out of the 18 skill cards required, 3 were obtained in the first wave. 15 more cards to go. Boom! 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 After finding the second location, Jingxing executed the firmament nirvana palm again to kill a nest of green-eyed snakes. Be it first realm little devils or third realm devil generals, none of them could escape. As the giant palm imprint landed, all of them died. Card plus 4590. There were even more cards extracted in this wave. The Essence Soul in the Void World on Earth Star read through them one by one and finally obtained 4 skill cards containing the Gaze of Fear. The third gathering place of the green-eyed snakes. Boom! 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 The giant palm imprint descended and covered every area, killing all the green-eyed snakes in hiding. In the end, he obtained card plus 3178, 2 of which were skill cards for the Gaze of Fear. The fourth gathering place. Boom! 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 As the giant palm imprint landed, he extracted more than 4,000 cards, 3 of which were the Gaze of Fear skill cards. The fifth. Boom! 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 More than 5,000 cards extracted and 4 Gaze of Fear skill cards. The sixth. Boom! 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 More than 4,000 cards extracted and 3 Gaze of Fear skill cards. Henceforth, he had gathered 19 Gaze of Fear skill cards, exceeding the required number. Jingxing took out the cards he had accumulated earlier and put them all together. At the same time, he unlocked the cards. Finally, he successfully obtained the divine power, the Eyes of Panic. Earth Star. Nation, the capital. The noisy street was bustling with traffic as usual. In a corner of the huge central square, an event was being held. Hundreds of people were gathered, surrounding the stage and watching the performance. All of a sudden. Whoosh! A sword beam suddenly descended from the sky and landed at the edge of the stage. A powerful air wave swept through the surroundings, and the stage instantly shattered. Screams sounded everywhere. Amidst the commotion, the crowd fled in all directions, wishing they had an extra pair of feet. The commotion in the central square spread in all directions. Soon, the public security team and the martial suppression office arrived one after another. The former guided the people away, while the latter surrounded the owner of the sword beam. "Who are you?" A middle-aged man in the uniform of the martial suppression office looked at the owner of the sword beam warily and said, "Aren't you afraid of being encircled for causing trouble in the central square?" "Causing trouble?" The owner of the sword beam, whose face could not be seen clearly and was entirely enveloped in light, said gently, "I'm not causing trouble. I'm just here to see someone." "See who?" The middle-aged man hesitated for a moment and asked, "What's his name? What's his relationship with you?" "Kong Xian." The owner of the sword beam replied indifferently, "The person I want to see is called Kong Xian. As for me, you." "Kong Xian. Martial Sage Kong Xian. Are you sure?" Before the owner of the sword beam could finish, a cry of alarm suddenly sounded. "What? He wants to see the martial sage. Are you serious? The martial sage is called Kong Xian. So the martial sage is called Kong Xian. This is the first time I'm hearing about this. Everyone, quieten down. Don't be held back by this person. He'll meet the martial sage just because he wants to. Is our martial sage Kong someone that any random person can meet at will? That's right. Our martial sage isn't someone you can meet just because you want to. What right do you have to meet the martial sage?" The members of the martial suppression office stared at the owner of the sword beam and spoke. Swoosh! 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 At this moment, a few figures flew over. "Shut up!" One of the burly men shouted angrily and suppressed all the shouting members of the martial suppression office. "It's Marshal Xiao!" A cry of surprise came from the crowd. The others immediately shut up and looked at the few people who had descended from the sky. Xiao Renwo, Fu Neng, Ao Chuanxiu, Luo Shan, and even Guan Zhonghua were here. More than half of the cabinet members arrived at the square and landed around the owner of the sword beam. "Everyone, step back immediately." Ao Chuanxiu ordered all the members of the martial suppression office to retreat. At first, there was silence. Moments later, the surrounding members silently put away their weapons and left the square. As a result, the crowd watching the show around the square also dispersed. Only Xiao Renwo, Fu Neng, and the others were left in the square, as well as the owner of the sword beam. "May I ask who you are and why you wish to see Martial Sage Kong?" As the Prime Minister, Guan Zhonghua took a few steps forward and asked in a deep voice. Fu Neng, Xiao Renwo, Ao Chuanxiu, and the others waited for an opportunity. The threat that the owner of the sword beam posed to them was too great. The invisible danger seemed to be able to pierce through their bones from afar, causing them to tremble uncontrollably. Therefore, even though the face of the owner of the sword beam could not be seen clearly, they were still extremely wary. "I'm here to see Kong Xian because I have something for him." The owner of the sword beam said calmly, "As for me, you can call me Pei Donglai." Pei Donglai. Sword Sage Pei. Everyone present was stunned when they heard this name. Pei Donglai. #1 expert in the world. He actually came knocking on to see Martial Sage Kong Xian. Silence. Shocked. After a while, Xiao Renwo, Ao Chuanxiu, and the others came back to their senses. Sword. Sword Sage Pei, what business do you have with Martial Sage Kong? Xiao Renwo braced himself and asked. He had no choice. Just as the others had shouted earlier, a martial sage was not someone anyone could meet just because they wanted to. Even if this person was the #1 expert in the world. Unless Sword Sage Pei wanted to kill all the cabinet members and stir up chaos in the U-Nation. Looking for a martial sage when there was nothing important would only make people look down on the cabinet, thinking that they were just a bunch of useless people who could not do anything. "I'm here to see Kong Xian because I have something for him." Pei Donglai still did not provide a clear reason. He said calmly, "You just need to report it to Kong Xian. Tell him that I'm looking for him for something important." He couldn't simply state that he wanted to challenge Kong Xian, could he? Pei Donglai was not a god of killing, nor was he a lunatic. He wouldn't kill to provoke Kong Xian to appear. He wanted a challenge, a fair fight. However, if he were to say it directly, Kong Xian might not appear. If he was avoiding him, Pei Donglai could not possibly rush into the void world, could he? Although martial sages of the various countries don't usually enter other dynasties, their physical bodies would occasionally move around. This movement referred to going to the various countries in reality, not the void world territory. Since ancient times, the act of directly rushing into a void world territory by a foreign martial sage's essence soul was equivalent to provocation and starting a war. There would be a fight to the death. That was not what Pei Donglai wanted. The fair challenge was not a battle between the Yu nation and the Jing nation. Pei Donglai had always strictly abided by this rule and had never made an exception. Guan Zhonghua, Xiao Renwo, Fu Neng, and the others heard this and looked at one another helplessly and curiously. However, since Pei Donglai refused to tell them, they could not force him. They could only grit his teeth and endure it for now. So be it if they got scolded. In that case, Sword Sage Pei, please wait here. We'll contact Martial Sage Kong now, said Guan Zhonghua. Go ahead. Pei Donglai stood in the glow, his expression concealed. Seeing this, Guan Zhonghua gestured for Luo Shan and Xiao Renwo to follow him. Ao Chuanxiu, Fu Neng, and the others stayed behind to accompany Pei Donglai. If Sword Sage Pei went crazy, the entire capital would be buried with him. The Void World. Su Jingxing's essence soul had obtained a divine power and was experiencing the mysteries of this divine power. Eyes of Panic. A mental attack launched from the soul, consciousness, and will. Once used, the opponent would be stared at and a mark that is difficult to remove would be left behind. Unless... Someone's looking for me. Su Jingxing's essence soul raised its eyebrows. Instead of getting up immediately, it continued to sit cross-legged and sensed the call through the heavenly secret arts. Moments later, impatience appeared on its face. Another summon from the heavenly secrets platform. Is the cabinet in trouble again? Su Jingxing's essence soul was inexplicably frustrated, but it had no choice but to get up. It controlled and zoomed the void world and locked onto the imperial palace in the capital. Su Jingxing had been forced to become the Yu nation's martial sage from the very beginning. This was because of his soul contract with the rising dragon Saber King to protect the Yu nation for 10 years. Originally, Su Jingxing had thought that these 10 years would pass quickly and that he wouldn't have to interfere in anything major. Unexpectedly, a card allowed him to step into the transcendent grade and condense an essence soul. Su Jingxing then encountered the old martial sage of the Yu nation. Xia Tsangxuan was about to die, so Su Jingxing was driven into this position that was entirely beyond him. Ever since he became a martial sage, Su Jingxing had been busy. The void world monsters had to be blocked, the invading martial sages of other countries had to be killed, and the internal chaos had to be resolved. He had no other choice. If he were to break the oath, his essence soul wouldn't even be able to break through to the primordial spirit realm. After being summoned by the heavenly secret arts so many times, Su Jingxing became impatient. In this mood, Su Jingxing wished a new transcendent grade martial artist would appear in the Yu nation. He promised to hand the kingdom-defending Jade Seal to the other party immediately. The kingdom-defending Jade Seal contained the protection of the nation's fate, mental power combat, and the condensation of the Sage Origin fruit. They basically didn't matter to his essence soul anymore. For example, he had a lot of spirit gathering pills to replace the Sage Origin fruits. Since others wanted to replace him, Su Jingxing wished he could get rid of his identity as the kingdom-defending martial sage. Compared to the benefits, the responsibility he had to bear was more repulsive to Su Jingxing. Swoosh! Unation, the capital, inside the imperial palace. Su Jingxing's essence soul descended from the sky in battle armor and released its perception. Soon, it found Guan Zhonghua and the others. Greetings, Martial Sage. We're very sorry to disturb you again, Martial Sage. Guan Zhonghua, Luo Shan, and the others bowed and shouted apologetically. What happened? The essence soul went straight to the point. Martial Sage, Pei Donglai, Sword Sage Pei is here. Guan Zhonghua replied with an ugly expression. He said he had something important to discuss with you and wanted us to cooperate. We asked him what it was, but he refused to tell us. Pei Donglai. The essence soul's heart skipped a beat. It recalled the bad feeling from before. It was verified now. It turned out that Pei Donglai had come knocking on his door. This battle fanatic, the invincible sword sage, the #1 expert in the world, loved to approach experts to challenge them. Su Jingxing's essence soul had destroyed the Xianin sect and killed a barbarian god. Its strength was comparable to the primordial spirit realm. It was expected that Pei Donglai would come knocking after finding out. Even though the essence soul was very against fighting Pei Donglai, if this sword sage Pei could be convinced so easily, he wouldn't have come to where he was today. Rather than hiding, it was better to take care of it in one go. At this thought, the essence soul's eyes flashed as it made its decision. Where is he? He's. Buzz. At this moment, the air suddenly shook. An invisible pressure suddenly descended from the sky and covered the entire palace. I'm here. An excited voice sounded. Pei Donglai stepped through the air and arrived above the palace. The essence soul looked up at the sky. Guan Zhonghua, Luo Shan, Xiao Renwo, and the others were flushed and trembling. Without exception, the others were all sprawled on the ground, trembling. Although it was not the suppression of a primordial spirit, the might of a transcendent grade was equally irresistible to those below it. Enough. Su Jingxing's essence soul growled and began to accumulate its divine power. He was not a primordial spirit, so he could not release the same pressure to neutralize it. Kong Xian, is it? In the air, Pei Donglai's eyes lit up. He retracted his suppression and smiled brightly. The last time I saw you, I didn't know your strength and missed you. I waited so long before we met again. Sword Sage Pei, get straight to the point, interrupted Su Jingxing's essence soul impatiently. I still have something on. I don't have that much time to catch up with you. Silence. As soon as the essence soul said this, the sky and ground instantly fell terrifyingly silent. This person in the air, Sword Sage Pei, was the #1 expert in the world. Su Jingxing's essence soul was actually so disrespectful. The hearts of everyone else all stopped beating for a moment. Cold sweat broke out on their faces and their hearts palpitated for some reason. For Su Jingxing's essence soul to be so direct with Pei Donglai, was it certain that it could defeat Sword Sage Pei? Or was it thinking too highly of itself and was arrogant, looking down on Pei Donglai? Either possibility would provoke Pei Donglai's anger. After being famous for so many years, even if Pei Donglai didn't mind at first, he had begun to value respect now. He would never tolerate anyone looking down on him. And that was indeed the case. As soon as Su Jingxing's essence soul finished speaking, while Pei Donglai's expression remained unchanged, a trace of coldness flashed across his eyes. Of course. Since Martial Sage Kong is so straightforward, I won't hide anything anymore. Pei Donglai said calmly, I came to the U-Nation this time to seek guidance. I hope Martial Sage Kong can fight me. That can be done. Su Jingxing's essence soul answered straightforwardly. The Thunder Dragon Eye Guard opened at the right time, revealing its eyes. It looked at Pei Donglai from a distance. Divine power, Eyes of Panic, activated. At the same time, it said, I've long heard of Sword Sage Pei. It's my honor to be able to compete with you. However, I hope I can choose the location of the battle. Of course, yes. Pei Donglai looked into the Essence Soul's eyes and felt his heart palpitate for some reason. He began to stutter. As soon as he said that, he suddenly realized that something was wrong. Just as he was about to stare at Su Jingxing's Essence Soul again, the latter had already put down the Thunder Dragon Eye Guard and stopped releasing its divine power. To be precise, the ability of the Eye of Panic had been fully unleashed. Without Pei Donglai noticing, it had left a mark in his heart. 3 days later, 10,000 Arrows Island in the Eastern Sea. Su Jingxing's Essence Soul chuckled inwardly and said, "This is the time and location of the battle. I hope Sword Sage Pei will arrive on time." "Sure." Pei Donglai blurted a word with a solemn expression. Then, with a flash, he turned illusory and quickly left through the air. Who? Seeing Pei Donglai disappear, the others heaved a sigh of relief and subconsciously calmed down. "Call me again if you need anything." With that, Su Jingxing's Essence Soul also soared into the sky and disappeared. Guan Zhonghua, Luo Shan, Xiao Renwo, and the others were silent. After a while, "The martial sage is angry," Fu Ning said softly. "If it were you, you would be angry too," Xiao Renwo said calmly. "Not many people will like Sword Sage Pei's personality. This is trouble appearing out of nowhere." Luo Shan sighed. "Sword Sage Pei has challenged so many people. No one who is targeted by him can escape. Do you guys think Martial Sage Kong will win the duel in 3 days?" Luo Xiangong asked in a low voice. "I don't know." Guan Zhonghua shook his head. "Sword Sage Pei is publicly acknowledged as the #1 expert in the world. Martial Sage Kong also has illustrious achievements. He just killed a barbarian god, but it's unknown if he can defeat Sword Sage Pei. Is there a 50% chance?" Luo Xiangong clenched his fists. Maybe not," Xiao Renwo said in a low voice. "Nonsense." Ao Chuanxiu rolled his eyes at him. "Although it's not quite nice, I still think that Sword Sage Pei has a higher chance of winning." "You just think so lowly of Martial Sage Kong?" Guan Zhonghua narrowed his eyes. The others remained silent. "It's not a matter of opinion, but the facts are right in front of us," Ao Chuanxiu analyzed. "Even if Martial Sage Kong is really in the primordial spirit realm, it has definitely only been a few days since he broke through. One is a new primordial spirit, and the other is a veteran primordial spirit. Moreover, Sword Sage Pei walks the path of invincibility. His sword Dao is most focused on killing, and his offensive power is astonishing. The chances of Martial Sage Kong winning are too low." Silence. The others continued to remain silent. Yes, one had just advanced, and the other had been in the primordial spirit realm for decades. How could they compare? How could they compare? Su Jingxing's Essence Soul had already thrown the matter to the back of its mind the moment it released its divine power. The Eyes of Panic had already left a fear imprint in Pei Donglai's heart. Unless Pei Donglai possessed a truly fearless heart, and had never been afraid of anything since he gained consciousness, or could forcefully erase the imprint with a divine power that countered it, or could use the willpower of those in the life void realm and above to melt the imprint, Pei Donglai would feel fear the moment he saw Su Jingxing. This fear would continue to intensify until it completely occupied Pei Donglai's mind. If he did not have a certain level of willpower to resist, he would be scared to death. This was the might of the divine power, the Eyes of Panic. Without needing to make a move, one could silently kill an opponent. Had Pei Donglai ever been afraid of anything? Of course. It happened when he was very young, about 3 years old. Pei Donglai had already forgotten the specific details. He only remembered a person visiting his house and bringing him a furry rabbit as a gift. The little rabbit was very cute and fun. The young Pei Donglai fell in love with it at first sight. Moreover, from that day onwards, he delivered vegetables to the little rabbit every day, fed it water, washed its hair, and covered it with a blanket. The young Pei Donglai treated the little rabbit as his best friend. At one point, they even slept together. Until one day, the young Pei Donglai got angry for some reason. He grabbed the little rabbit and grabbed and bit it hard. In the end, it angered the little rabbit that was never angry. The red-eyed little rabbit quickly bit the young Pei Donglai's hand. A mark was immediately left on his tender hand, and trickles of blood appeared. The young Pei Donglai was so frightened that he burst into tears. From then on, the red-eyed rabbit became a trauma in Pei Donglai's heart, a nightmare in his mind. He would wake up in shock and cry non-stop. It wasn't until he was 5 or 6 years old that he buried this memory deep in his heart. For so many years, he had never remembered it. But today, this memory suddenly surged out. Without any warning, as Pei Donglai was leaving the Yu Nation and returning to the Jing Nation, this memory suddenly surfaced in his mind. Moreover, what flustered Pei Donglai was that he couldn't control himself. The red-eyed little rabbit was like the most terrifying ancient demon. It became increasingly clearer and bigger in his mind. Pei Donglai, who was flying through the air, swayed and fell through the air. He landed on a mountain with an ugly expression. What's going on? What exactly is going on? Sword energy surged crazily from his body, wreaking havoc in the surroundings, slicing through trees and causing pits to appear on the ground. Pei Donglai's eyes were wide. He clenched his fists, his body trembling as he growled. What went wrong? What exactly went wrong? Suppressing the sudden burst of fear, Pei Donglai gritted his teeth and growled, thinking about the cause and effect. Firstly, before coming to the Yu Nation, there had never been any abnormalities. After arriving at the Yu Nation, he descended to the square and revealed his true body. There was nothing abnormal either. Sensing the arrival of Kong Xian, he rushed to the imperial palace to meet him. They agreed to fight, but there was still nothing. No. Suddenly, Pei Donglai woke up with a start. He recalled every bit of his meeting with Kong Xian. In the next moment, Pei Donglai gritted his teeth and growled, "It's him." It was Kong Xian. Pei Donglai recalled that when Kong Xian was talking to him, he suddenly revealed his eyes and stared at Pei Donglai for a long time. At that time, Pei Donglai did not react, nor did he notice the danger. He thought that Kong Xian had revealed his eyes as an indignant and provocative response. Now that he thought about it, he finally understood. Kong Xian had attacked him at that moment and used an unknown power to breed fear in him. What a newly advanced martial sage. He's comparable to a primordial spirit. Pei Donglai growled and clenched his fists. Sword energy enveloped his body and wreaked havoc on the ground. With dull thuds, huge pits appeared on the ground. Dust and rubble flew into the air. Pei Donglai gritted his teeth, his eyes cold. The duel had already begun earlier, right? As soon as he finished speaking, his figure soared into the sky. Countless sword energies turned into a light barrier and carried Pei Donglai's body back towards the Yu Nation. Since Kong Xian had already made a move, Pei Donglai had to receive it and counterattack at the same time. But the problem was, before he even got close to the Yu Nation, Pei Donglai suddenly stopped in his tracks. His heart was racing. An incomparable fear overwhelmed him. I can't go forward. I can't go any further. Pei Donglai growled inwardly, his expression extremely grim. Even though he didn't want to admit it, the fear from the bottom of his heart sobered him up. He couldn't enter the Yu Nation again. The closer he got to the Yu Nation, the more agile the red-eyed rabbit became. It jumped, grinned, and bit in his mind. This was a warning from his heart that he could not enter the Yu Nation. Realizing this, the muscles on Pei Donglai's face twitched, and his eyes were filled with shame and anger. D*****, D*****, D*****. Kong Xian had made his move, but he could only passively defend and not counterattack. He could not and dare not even meet Kong Xian again. Ever since he became a martial artist, this was the first time Pei Donglai had suffered such a great humiliation. In an instant, this humiliation even suppressed the fear in his heart and gave him the upper hand. Pei Donglai's eyes turned red, white smoke rose from his head, and his body trembled uncontrollably. He wanted to settle scores with Kong Xian, even if it was landing a punch. However, the fear in his heart kept deepening and triggering Pei Donglai even more crazily. He could not and did not dare to go to Kong Xian. Pei Donglai was going crazy, but Su Jingxing's essence soul had forgotten about him. From the moment it executed the divine power, the eyes of panic, and completed the imprint, this match had already ended. Pei Donglai would not appear at the East Sea 3 days later. As for whether or not this sword sage would come knocking on his door again and cancel the duel, Su Jingxing's essence soul was looking forward to it. It wondered if Pei Donglai would come personally. Of course, given the essence soul's understanding of the eyes of panic, Pei Donglai would probably never meet it again. The essence soul returned to the void world. Su Jingxing's main body had completed his mission on the Seven Luminaries planet and was preparing to return to Earth Star. However, the moment Su Jingxing activated instant space, the sound of fighting and furious roars suddenly came from afar. Su Jingxing wanted to ignore them, but when he heard one of the voices, he immediately stopped the execution of instant space. In the next moment, he restrained his aura and flashed towards the direction of the sound of fighting. His speed was very fast. Before long, Su Jingxing arrived at the source of the sound. In a forest, he hid in a corner and looked at the scene. Heart Moon Fox, Nian Susu. This half-devil who had entered the soul-refining space with Su Jingxing had a huge hole in her chest. She was lying on the ground, her aura rapidly weakening. Reading on mybo.xno.com please. As Su Jingxing watched, she died with her eyes open. Card +1. Dead. Nian Susu was dead. Su Jingxing also knew the person who killed her. Tuahai Taiyan. Of course, there were others with Tuahai Taiyan. These people were all in uniforms and held technological weapons in their hands. They also had powerful divine weapons. Every one of them had outstanding auras. They were either in the Soul Platform realm or the Cloud Ascension realm. There were even some in the Life Void realm. Although these people were standing around Tuahai Taiyan, they did not take him as their leader. Instead, they took orders from a muscular young man in an exquisite robe. Su Jingxing quickly glanced at them before looking away to avoid getting exposed. Nian Susu had died too quickly. He had no time to save her even if he wanted to. Under such circumstances, Su Jingxing naturally wouldn't expose himself and stand against Tuahai Taiyan and company. A month had passed. Tuahai Taiyan was no longer as high-spirited as before. His face was somber and his aura was dispirited. On the contrary, there was a young man who looked a little like him. He was handsome and had an oppressive aura. Clearly, like Tuahai Taiyan, this young man was also from the Tuahai family of the Heavenly Fate planet. Moreover, his status seemed to be higher than Tuahai Taiyan's. This group of people had appeared on the Seven Luminaries planet most likely because they had received the news that Tuahai Taiyan's team had almost been wiped out and specially rushed to the Seven Luminaries planet to get back at them. It was unknown what realm the strongest person in this team that came to the Seven Luminaries planet was in. The first chief of the Heart Moon Foxes, Nian Gur, had already stepped into the sixth realm. If the Tuahai family wanted to find trouble with the Heart Moon Foxes, they would at least have to send an expert who could subdue Nian Gur. This fox stole from you and escaped, right? As Su Jingxing listened, the young man spoke. He pointed at the limp corpse on the ground and said calmly, "You're great at handling tasks. It was just supposed to be a trip out to receive something, but it was stolen right in front of your face. The first elder had no choice but to come out of seclusion and rush here to deal with the trouble you caused. Tuahai Tian was silent. Why? Are you mute now? The young man chuckled. Weren't you quite good with words in the past? Why are you mute today? Enough. Tuahai Tian gritted his teeth and shouted, since things have come to this, I'll accept whatever punishment the clan gives me. The key is whether this D*Ned Fox has thrown the item away. You attacked too quickly just now. You ought to have waited until she revealed everything before killing her. There's no need to go through so much trouble. The young man disagreed and waved his hand. Since the first elder is here, regardless of whether this fox has thrown the item away or not, the Heart Moon Foxes will have to hand it over. But, Tuahai Tian hesitated. You want to say that the Heart Moon Fox's Nyen Gur has already advanced and become a 6th realm Devil King, right? The young man chuckled. That's right, Nyen Gur is indeed in the 6th realm, but she's dreaming if she thinks she can have an edge over the first elder. The first elder's strength is not something that a mere Devil King who has just advanced to the 6th realm can compare to. Tuahai Tian remained silent. Su Jingxing was curious. He wondered what realm the first elder they were talking about was in. It was also unclear how Nyen Susu was hunted down by them and ultimately died with her eyes wide open. However, from their conversation, Su Jingxing guessed some of the reasons why Tuahai Tian targeted the Heart Moon Foxes previously. It turned out that Nyen Susu had stolen a precious item from Tuahai Tian. This item was very important. Tuahai Tian would be punished by the family clan for losing it. Therefore, to avoid punishment, Tuahai Tian led a group of his subordinates and gave chase till the 7 luminaries planet. They convinced the various devils to capture the Heart Moon Foxes and force them into a corner. Their goal was to seize the lost item. In the end, they naturally lost terribly. Most of his subordinates died. Now, the Tuahai family sending a team led by the first elder to the 7 luminaries planet to seek revenge was just an act of convenience. Their real goal was to get that item back from the Heart Moon Foxes. After connecting the dots, he was not far from the truth. Su Jingxing pondered. Boom! A loud bang suddenly came from afar. When Su Jingxing looked up, he saw 2 figures in the distant sky. They shattered space and shuttled through the void, colliding and exchanging blows non-stop. Space collapsed, and the aftershock struck out, sweeping through the ground and destroying mountains. It has started. The young man also looked into the distance and chuckled. The Heart Moon Fox, Nyen Gur, a 6th realm Devil King. I'm looking forward to the scene of her being killed by the first elder. Tuahai Tian opened his mouth, wanting to say something, but in the end, he kept quiet. Su Jingxing looked into the distance and restrained his aura to the extreme. The first elder of the Tuahai family was fighting with Nyen Gur. Indeed, the 2 people fighting were extremely powerful. Nyen Gur was a Heart Moon Fox. She had broken through to the 6th realm and her physical body was immortal. The first elder of the Tuahai family could fight her. Moreover, from the young man's words earlier, this first elder would definitely win against Nyen Gur. What did this mean? This meant that the first elder of the Tuahai family was a venerable in the human race's divine martial arts system. And he was a great venerable among venerables, a powerhouse at the peak of the meditation realm. The divine martial arts system started with the primordial spirit, then the soul platform realm, cloud ascension realm, life void realm, and grotto heaven realm. In the grotto heaven realm, the greatest ability of a martial artist was to comprehend the law of space and open up a grotto heaven on the soul platform. The transformation of the primordial spirit in this realm was similar to that of a 5th realm Devil King. The power of the grotto heaven could also resist the power of a Devil King. Reading on Mybo XNOVEL.com please. However, in terms of use, it was very difficult for a Devil King to break the grotto heaven. As a result, most of the 5th realm Devil Kings and martial artists in the grotto heaven realm were evenly matched. You can't break my physical body, and I can't break your grotto heaven. If one could condense a domain in the life void realm, they would be able to break through faster than others when in the grotto heaven realm. This was because it was very difficult to create a space out of thin air, but it was much easier to develop it from a domain into a grotto heaven. Above the grotto heaven realm was the meditative realm. Martial artists of this realm had to endure the cleansing of the lightning tribulation just like sixth realm devil kings. Moreover, during the cleansing process of the lightning tribulation, they would comprehend the law of time. Once one successfully transcended the lightning tribulation, they would be able to grasp the power of time. As long as their essence soul was not destroyed, they would be able to sit for eternity and be called the Venerable. The peak experts among them were known as the Great Venerables. The ability and strength of the meditation realm were similar to that of a sixth realm devil king. However, if it was a Great Venerable, a sixth realm devil king would not be able to hold on. Of course, this was normal. Nien Guo's breakthrough was sudden to begin with. The young man believed that the first elder of the Tuahai family could suppress her, but Su Jingxing wasn't sure. This was not because his realm was not there, but because of a subconscious feeling. In Su Jingxing's subconscious, the first elder would not be able to do anything to Nien Guo. This was interesting. One was the Great Venerable, and the other was a sixth realm devil king. The two figures fought in the distance until space shattered, the ground cracked, and mountains were destroyed one after another. Looking at the situation, it was very intense, and Nien Guo was being suppressed in all aspects. However, Su Jingxing sensed that Nien Guo was not completely suppressed. Instead, she was becoming braver and stronger. In the battle, she directly transformed into her original form. The huge silver fox roared and shattered space to meet the power of time of the first elder. An almost invisible ray of white light shone on Nien Guo from time to time. This beam of light could strip one's lifespan. Only Nien Guo's physical body was no longer affected by space and time, that was why she was able to hold on. Of course, it was not that the body of a heaven devil was immune to space and time, but that there was a force that wrapped around the body and neutralized the invasion of time and space. At this moment, what the first elder wanted to break was this power. As long as this force was shattered, Nien Guo's realm would immediately fall and she would return to the fifth realm. That way, Nien Guo would immediately become the first elder's possession. He could do whatever he wanted with her. Unfortunately, his expectation did not come true. The more Nien Guo fought, the more valiant she became. The power of time controlled by the first elder was not endless. On the contrary, there was a limit to depriving life. The first elder quickly switched to other attacks, causing Nien Guo to glow brightly. The two figures were like two suns in the sky, constantly emitting light, shattering space and mountains. Until a loud bang and a blinding white light drowned everything. When the white light dissipated, Su Jingxing looked up again, but the first elder and Nien Guo were already gone. The human and the fox were gone. No one knew who had won and lost. But soon, Su Jingxing heard the young man's low shout. "Let's go to Yuedang Mountain." The first elder won? Tuahai Taiyan asked curiously. "Why are you asking so many questions? If you're told to move, then move. Why do you have so much nonsense?" The young man snapped. Tuahai Taiyan immediately shut up, not daring to speak again. The group left Nien Susu's corpse behind and disappeared into the horizon. After they had gone far, Su Jingxing came out from his hiding place, picked up Nien Susu's limp corpse, and left quickly. Along the way, he pondered over the young man's words. To Yuedang Mountain. The first elder of the Tuahai family defeated Nien Guo, and they are now going to state conditions. Or did the first elder of the Tuahai family lose and Nien Guo is going to propose conditions to the Tuahai family on Yuedang Mountain? Without being present, it was impossible to judge the exact situation. Although Su Jingxing was curious, he did not have the motivation to rush to Yuedang Mountain. He found a place with good scenery and dug a deep pit to bury Nyen Susu's corpse. This was the only thing he could do. No matter what happened between the Tuahai family and the Heart Moon Foxes, Nyen Susu was already dead. I wonder what card I extracted from her. Su Jingxing muttered as he took out the card he had just obtained. He held it in his hand and read the information. In the end. Memory card. What he extracted from Nyen Susu was actually a memory card. Nyen Susu's memories of more than 100 years were all in the card. Su Jingxing would be able to watch them once he unlocked the card. Should I unlock it? Of course. Right before Nyen Xiaosu's grave, Su Jingxing unlocked the card and read Nyen Xiaosu's memories from more than 100 years ago. It began from the time she became a little devil. She trained on Yuedang Mountain. Then, she left Yuedang Mountain to hunt and kill before leaving the Seven Luminaries planet to travel to other planets. This beautiful Heart Moon Fox half-devil learned a theft technique when she was traveling outside. Moreover, after learning it, her hands would itch from time to time. Then, when she met Tuahai Taiyan by chance, she quietly stole a box from him. There was a pearl in the box. After Nyen Susu returned and checked on the pearl, she realized that it was a treasure that could stimulate the soul and forcefully increase the level of one's life. Simply put, this pearl was very useful to the devils. It could forcefully unleash a breakthrough in the realm under certain circumstances. After Nyen Susu brought the pearl back to the Seven Luminaries planet, she handed the treasure to Feng Xian, the Fox King. After the Fox King learned of the ability of the pearl, he decisively gave it to Nyen Gur. Then, Nyen Gur used the pearl and, as expected, activated a tribulation in advance. Su Jingxing witnessed the outcome. Nyen Gur had successfully become a sixth realm devil king and the #1 expert on the Seven Luminaries planet. Nyen Susu had also received 3 chances to enter the soul refining space because she had rendered meritorious service. She also had a huge opportunity of becoming the disciple of this sixth realm devil king. If she had not been followed by Tuahai Taiyan, who had been secretly watching Yuedang Mountain, and ultimately failed to escape, resulting in her being silenced. Nyen Susu's future achievements would at least be that of a fifth realm devil king. But now, everything was gone. Her corpse was buried by Su Jingxing. At the end of the memory, Su Jingxing also learned something. Nyen Gur discovered something amiss with the box holding the pearl a few days ago. Nyen Gur approached Nyen Susu and asked about the situation. In the end, it was confirmed that this box was the real treasure. That's right, compared to the pearl, the box was more important. Although it could not directly achieve its function, this box had a special source. It was the Azure Dragon treasure box. According to the information Nyen Susu had gotten from Nyen Gur, this box was related to the treasures of a powerful existence. The Lord of the Azure Dragon World. Azure Dragon World. The true world created by the Lord of the Azure Dragon World was a small universe that contained the 4 major laws of time, space, fate, and life and death. Although the Lord of the Azure Dragon World had died and the 4 major laws of the small universe might have disappeared, there were definitely many treasures inside. An existence at such a level could be said to be a top expert in the world. Not to mention the Tuahai family, even the region lord of the North Star region wanted to enter the Azure Dragon World. North Star region, a large star field. The Seven Luminaries planet was just one of the planets with life in it. The same went for the Heavenly Fate planet where the Tuahai family was located. The Azure Dragon treasure box was the key to entering the Azure Dragon World. However, few people knew how to unlock it, where the entrance was, and how to enter. It was one thing not to know about such matters, but since he did, Su Jingxing had to get involved no matter what. Compared to the Azure Dragon World, the search for heavenly Tao crystals was almost insignificant. With this in mind, Su Jingxing's eyes flashed as he made his decision. First, he released his spiritual essence externally and opened Nyen Susu's fresh grave. He dug her out again and placed her in a cosmic bag. He had used the cosmic bags previously, and there was still some left. It was perfect for preserving Nyen Susu's corpse now. Then, he put away the cosmic bag and soared into the air, heading straight for Yuedang Mountain. Reading on Mybo XNOVL. Calm, please. No matter why the First Elder and Nyen Gur had stopped fighting and what they were discussing, it was most likely related to the Azure Dragon world. He rushed to Yuedang Mountain as quickly as possible. Who is it? Su Jingxing had just landed at the entrance of the mountain when he was stopped. Who are you? The armored guard of the Tuahai family stared at Su Jingxing and asked warily. He's a friend of the Heart Moon Foxes. It has nothing to do with you. Beside him, a Heart Moon Fox male shouted coldly and called out to Su Jingxing, Young Master Kong, why are you back again? Yeah, I suddenly remembered something that I need to speak to the Fox King about, Su Jingxing replied with a smile and a nod. I see. I'll bring you to the reception hall to wait. The other party did not ask anything else and nodded before turning around to lead the way. Seeing this, the eyes of the guards flashed, but they still did not make a move. After all, this was the territory of the Heart Moon Foxes. Su Jingxing ignored them and followed the Heart Moon Fox male down the mountain path. When they had distanced themselves, he asked curiously, why are there other people? Are there important guests here today? I guess they can be considered guests. The Heart Moon Fox's expression did not look good. He seemed reluctant to speak. Seeing this, Su Jingxing didn't probe further. However, he had more or less guessed that neither the First Elder nor Nyen Gur could do anything to the other. As a result, the Tuahai family and the Heart Moon Foxes had no choice but to sit down and negotiate the ownership of the Azure Dragon treasure box. This could be seen from the Heart Moon Foxes that they met along the way. All their expressions said that they were furious, but had no choice but to endure it. As for the Heart Moon Fox King, Feng Xian, the chiefs of the various lineages, they were clearly involved in the peace talk. Su Jingxing still had to wait to see Feng Xian. Without batting an eyelid, he followed the Heart Moon Fox male to a hall and waited for most of the day. It was almost dark when Feng Xian appeared exhausted. My friend, I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. As soon as Feng Xian appeared, he cupped his fists and apologized to Su Jingxing. Fox King, there's no need for that. There's nothing important on my side. I just wanted to return a corpse to you. As Su Jingxing spoke, he took out the cosmic bag and opened it, releasing Nyen Susu's limp corpse. What's going on? Feng Xian's expression changed drastically when he saw Nyen Susu's corpse. His expression changed instantly and he asked with a grim look, who killed Susu? Who killed her? Someone from the Tuahai family. Su Jingxing said in a low voice, I heard the sounds of fighting. When I rushed over, Nyen Xiaosu was already on the verge of death. Tuahai Taiyan and company were standing beside her. The Tuahai family again. Feng Xian roared angrily, his eyes red and filled with killing intent. But soon, he forcefully suppressed this anger and killing intent. He leaned against a recliner dispiritedly and said weakly, the Tuahai family. I'm useless as a king. I can't even avenge Susu. Su Jingxing kept quiet. The Tuahai family had a venerable in the meditation realm. Nyen Gur could not do anything to him. Even if the Heart Moon Foxes wanted to take revenge, they could not. In terms of faction, the Tuahai family had almost unified the heavenly fate planet. They were also very famous in the North Star region and had experts stationed on various planets. As for the Heart Moon Foxes, leaving the Seven Luminaries planet was simply for traveling. In comparison, unless the culprits were captured or revenge was taken on the spot, if they wanted to retaliate subsequently, it would cause a huge battle between the Tuahai family and the Heart Moon Foxes. There was a 90% chance that the Heart Moon Foxes would lose the battle, and it would be an ugly loss. Why? The reason was simple. Other than countless experts like the Venerable in the meditation realm, the Tuahai family also had powerful weapons. Terrifying weapons that could be activated in space to target Yuedang Mountain. With such powerful weapons, any Heart Moon Foxes below the 4th realm would basically be killed. Therefore, if the Heart Moon Foxes really went to war with the Tuahai family, the impact would be too great. So much so that it was not worth risking to take revenge for Nian Xiaosu. Su Jingxing could understand this. Feng Xian was helpless. He sighed for a while before his expression suddenly turned serious. He said in a low voice, "My friend, you probably don't understand why I can't take revenge, do you?" "No, I can understand." Su Jingxing shook his head. "Thank you." Feng Xian exhaled. "You can understand because you saw the battle during the day, right? The first elder of the Tuahai family personally came to Yuedang Mountain to fight the first chief. The two of them fought for a long time, but neither could do anything to the other. As for why the Tuahai family killed Nian Susu, I can be honest with you. It's because they want to take back the Azure Dragon treasure box." "Azure Dragon treasure box?" Su Jingxing pretended to be puzzled and asked, "What is that?" "A box that can open the Azure Dragon world." Feng Xian gritted his teeth and said, "Nian Susu bought this box from Tuahai Taiyan by chance. In the end, Tuahai Taiyan discovered it after that and gave chase all the way to the 7 Luminaries planet. And because of this, he attacked the Heart Moon Foxes." "Like hell I will believe you." Su Jingxing complained inwardly. If he hadn't seen Nian Susu's memories, he might have believed Feng Xian's account. The old fox was spouting nonsense for the sake of the Heart Moon Fox's reputation. Of course, Su Jingxing didn't expose him and continued to listen. Tuahai Taiyan wanted to seize the Azure Dragon treasure box by himself. After he failed, the first elder of the Tuahai family personally led a team here. The first chief couldn't do anything to him, so we could only enter a negotiation. Exhaling, Feng Xian said helplessly, "Just before you came, we talked for almost a day and finally came to an agreement. We agreed to go to the glazed illusory sea together in a month's time to search for the second Azure Dragon treasure box. After entering the Azure Dragon world, we will split up and whoever gets." "Wait." Su Jingxing interrupted, "What's with this glazed illusory sea? Also, there are several Azure Dragon treasure boxes." "That's right." Feng Xian nodded and explained, "There are a total of 4 Azure Dragon treasure boxes. The Tuahai family originally had 2. Tuahai Taiyan didn't know about the Azure Dragon treasure box and stole one to play with. Nian Xiaosu happened to buy it outside. Now, this one is in our hands." "I see." The corners of Su Jingxing's lips twitched as he nodded in feigned realization. "Of the 4 Azure Dragon treasure boxes, 1 is with the Tuahai family, 1 is in our possession, and 1 is in the hands of the spirit race's emperor. The last one is rumored to have appeared in the glazed illusory sea." Feng Xian continued, "The one in the hands of the spirit emperor has been in there for many years. The first elder said that he would be the one to convince him to open the Azure Dragon world together when the time comes. As for the last Azure Dragon treasure box, the Tuahai family will search for it with us. Whoever finds it will temporarily own it. This is because the glazed illusory sea is very special. If we go together, our chances of success will be higher." "Is the glazed illusory sea also a planet?" Su Jingxing was curious. "No," Feng Xian shook his head. "The glazed illusory sea is located in space and is very special. There is earth, sky, and also spatial turbulence inside, but most of them are illusions, layer after layer of illusions. They also have a powerful influence on us in the 5th realm. If we're not careful, we might get lost inside." "I see." Su Jingxing was enlightened. "If you're interested, you can come with us." Feng Xian smiled and said, "Whoever finds the Azure Dragon treasure box first will keep it. Rather than letting it fall into the hands of the Tuahai family, I'd rather it be in your hands." After all, the Azure Dragon treasure box also has the effect of nourishing the soul. It's a pretty good as a standalone treasure. The Tuahai family won't have any objections if I go. Su Jingxing raised his eyebrows. So what if they have objections? Feng Xian sneered. If you come with us, you will be a part of the Heart Moon Foxes. It has absolutely nothing to do with the Tuahai family. In that case, Su Jingxing pondered for a moment and nodded. I'll come and take a look too. All right. Feng Xian laughed out loud. It's a deal then. We'll go together then. Given your spiritual essence cultivation, the glazed illusory sea won't affect you much because it covers your entire body. You can effectively avoid the invasion of illusions. There's such a thing. Su Jingxing was surprised. That's right. The illusions in the glazed illusory sea are very special. Your spiritual essence can restrain most of it. As for the reason, no one knows. Perhaps, Feng Xian stopped. Perhaps what? Asked Su Jingxing. Feel free to speak. You don't have to worry about me. Perhaps, among you spiritual martial artists, there was once an overlord who had entered the glazed illusory sea, guessed Feng Xian. Overlord? Su Jingxing's heart skipped a beat. That's right. Feng Xian sighed. Even the glazed illusory sea can't stop a spiritual martial arts overlord from shattering the vacuum. If an overlord has really entered, there might be a mechanism to destroy spiritual essence left behind in the glazed illusory sea. Of course, this is all just a guess. You will only know the exact reason when you get there. I understand. Su Jingxing nodded. The spiritual martial arts overlord referred to the realm after the essence opening realm and dharma characteristic realm. This realm was called the space crushing realm, but because it was too powerful, it was also called the overlord. In the space crushing realm, one had to dodge the lightning tribulation to unleash powerful strength. Of them, the one tribulation overlord was comparable to the grotto heaven realm of the divine martial arts system. If one had transcended two lightning tribulations, as a two-tribulation overlord, he would be comparable to the meditation realm. If one could transcend all three lightning tribulations, he would be able to rival the seeking realm which was above the meditation realm. A three-tribulation overlord could even fight a seventh realm devil emperor head-on and hold his own. Su Jingxing's desire to reach this realm was even greater than achieving immortality. When the physical body reached the realm of a three-tribulation overlord, it would still be immortal. After sending Yen Susu's corpse back, Feng Xian told Su Jingxing about the outcome of the peace negotiations between the Heart Moon Foxes and the Tuahai family. Clearly, Feng Xian didn't do so of goodwill. Su Jingxing had guessed the reason when he walked out of the hall. Just as Feng Xian had said, firstly, to discuss the Tuahai family. The Heart Moon Foxes agreed to the peace negotiations because they had no choice. Su Jingxing's participation would make the Tuahai family uncomfortable. The second reason was that the spiritual essence of a spiritual martial artist should be able to really restrain the glazed illusory sea. Of course, the last of the 4 Azure Dragon treasure boxes might not necessarily have landed in the glazed illusory sea. They were just going there to fight for it. At the same time, they wanted to fish for some treasure herbs in the glazed illusory sea. As for Su Jingxing, agreeing to this would be provoking in making an enemy of the Tuahai family from now on. But it wouldn't affect him much. He just had to change his appearance or put on the Thunder Dragon mask. If he couldn't win, wouldn't he run? Wherever Su Jingxing was, the Cosmic Tower could activate instant space at any time for him to escape instantly. Earth Star was not in the North Star region, so no matter how powerful the Tuahai family was, they would not be able to find Su Jingxing. This was because the name Kong Xian that Su Jingxing used was also fake. Even if the Tuahai family approached Heavenly Secrets race to deduce Su Jingxing's whereabouts, they would be using the name Kong Xian. The Heavenly Secrets race would not be able to find Su Jingxing without knowing his real name.